Great. Well, thank you everyone for joining me on this webinar. So it's going to be about influencer marketing. My name is Alex. I'm the marketing executive at Crunch. There's a little chat box at the top of your screen. If you at any point have any questions, if you just tap on that and put in your questions in there, I'll come back to those at the end. So I've been asked to do this for several clients, and we just thought that we would open this up to others. We're going to be rolling out a series of these over the next couple of months, so if you're interested in hearing more, please stay tuned. So, as I said, this is all about influencer marketing, specifically for education, and how you can use influencer marketing to aid in the recruitment of students into your courses and open days. So let's kick off. What is influencer marketing? So influencer marketing it's not a new concept. It's been around for a very long time. Since the dawn of the first celebrity, big brands have been using them to endorse their products and services. However, with the new technology that we have available to us is much more affordable, and we can use it for larger and smaller campaigns to engage with different people. It's worth remembering that influencer marketing is primarily a brand building exercise. It's there to use micro-influencers who have highly engaged audiences to put your message out there and use that as a medium to put your brand in the forefront of your potential students' minds. And it is a great tool to jump ahead of your competition. There's not very many people using this right now. It's such a new technology. Jumping on it right now will just push you way ahead of the competition. So just a little bit of background. These are the main platforms, social media platforms that we work on. So obviously Facebook is a massive one for us, and Instagram. Instagram being very image-based drives quite a lot of engagement. Snapchat, we've seen a bit of downfall over the last couple of months, and YouTube being the second largest search engine on the internet is another massive area for us. Also blog posts, we see a lot of influencers use their own blogs that get quite a lot of traffic through, and that can be a great tool for adding your content to that and asking them to talk about it and create conversation around your content. So what's an influencer? We actually use the term micro-influencer, which is anyone with a following of 3,000 to 1 million followers. They have highly engaged audiences. They've built these audiences from nothing, and I'm sure everyone can relate to this, their favorite Instagrammer or YouTuber. As soon as they upload a video, you watch it, you engage with it, you like it, you comment on it, they get seriously high engagement rates. Higher more so than your average celebrity. So I'm going to use Justin Bieber as an example. He currently has around about 78 million followers on Facebook. However, he's driving a 0.7% engagement rate, which compared to other micro-influencers with much smaller followings, they have much higher engagement rates. So let's talk about the process. So what would happen if you came to us and you want to start implementing a influencer marketing strategy to engage with students? So step one would be initial brief. We would set up a call or a meeting, and we would do an audit of all the content that you currently have. We sometimes can repurpose the content you have. So if you've got any university content blogs, or you've got any research that you'd like to use, we sometimes can use that. However, a lot of the time we do suggest creating content specifically for the campaign. That's just to create something unique and that we know that the students will engage with. Once we've decided on the content and what that's going to be about, we would then go into the influencer negotiation. So that's the crunch stage. What we will do is, depending on what content is, we would start picking out influencers that match your brand and what you want to talk about. So say you want to promote content for a science research, we would go into the influencer platform and we would pull out any influencers that have a high following growth of people interested in that specific content. Once you get that, you will receive a link from us with all those content creators and influencers, and you can pick and choose which ones out of that you like. And once you've done that, we then ask the influencers to submit their posts with their images or videos or blogs, whatever it is that we've asked them to do. That all comes to us first. We pre-approve everything. We proofread it. We run the images through, make sure that they're all high res. We will then send that to you. You would then look through it and make sure that everything runs in line with your brand guidelines. So nothing gets posted out without your consent. Once you've given your consent, we will then talk to the influencers and they will tell us when's the best time to post the content. We take their opinion very strongly, as they're the experts on knowing when their audience engages the most with their content, whether it's Monday afternoon or Thursday evening. We will take that into consideration. Then once the content has been live, depending on what the initial brief with is, we will start monitoring and reporting the campaign. So if the initial brief was we just want one post out through 4 influencers over a 1-week period, that would pretty much be one report at the beginning and one report at the end, and we'll let you know how that is going on through the campaign. Some other campaigns we have run quite a lot longer, so it's all about building brand awareness for an open day or clearing prior to that, and we will give you regular reports on how your content is doing through social. So brand safety is something I wanted to touch on, as it's a big thing. You know, your brand is extremely important to us. We don't want to let loose any spamming influencers or anyone that's going to do any damage to your brand. We vet all influencers prior to any content going live. So what we would do is we dive into all of their social media profiles. We look back through their historical data, and we will see if there's anything in there that will be harming to your brand and anything that will light your organization in a bad light. We will also create a brand do's and don'ts guideline. So in the initial briefing session, we will create a list of things that they can and cannot do, all the way down to where your logo needs to be placed on images, how to spell certain things, hashtags and keywords, all of that. And like I said, we pre-approve any content before it goes live. So you don't come in on a Monday morning and the influencers post something out on a Saturday afternoon that has gone completely wrong. That completely outlines that. So I also want to talk a bit about ad blockers. They're becoming increasingly used, especially around some of the stuff that's in the news right now. Talk about Facebook. Influencer marketing is a great way of getting around this. It's basically organic content that you're placing directly in front of your target audience. And the fact that it's coming from trusted sources and brand ambassadors that these people have engaged with for a long time, your message comes across as not spammy, and it highlights your message in a great light. So how do we actually choose the influencers that we want to use in your campaign? So we pick quality over quantity. Like I said, we vet all influencers, and we look at their audience analytics and their engagement rates. So as a rule of thumb, we will not engage with any influencer who has an engagement rate below 2%. We find those the ones they're not as quality as the ones that have the engagement rate between 2 and 5%. Like I said, we vet all influencers first, and we choose the influencers due to their audience demographics, which will be defined from the content that you want to boost. So, audience demographics, what can we choose from? So, first of all, age, location, interest, and gender. So with age, I will use a postgraduate campaign as an example. So we'll go into the platform, we will look at influencers that have a dominant following of people between the ages of 17 and 25, and then they would go straight to the top of the list and they would go into our group. Then we would look at location. So if your target audience is around the Southwest, we would then go into the locations of their following and make sure that a large proportion of their followers is in the Southwest. And then interest. So this is defined by what we want the influencers to talk about. So say we want to promote a sports science program, or we want to get people who are into sports into your open days. We would make sure that the influencers would have a dominant following of people that have sports interest, and we would also look at what the influencers post about regularly to see if it's in line with what we want to promote. And then obviously gender, if you want to pick a specific gender, we will make sure that those influencers have a large percentage of male or female, whatever you want to choose out of this campaign. So once Crunch has chosen all of your influencers, what we will then do is we will send you our portal, and it will have a link to all of the influencers that we've put in that we think would be relevant to your campaign. So what will you see from this? You'll see your engagement, their engagement rate. You'll see audience insights. So everything that we see that their followers are, you will see. So you'll see age, location, every demographic that we will see, you will have access to that. You'll also have a link to all their social media accounts so that you can go through them yourself and make sure that everything that they're posting about is in line with your message. And it also gives you the options to remove influencers from your group. So the ones that are left after you've removed all the influencers that you don't think is going to be right for the campaign, those are the influencers that we will then go and engage with and ask them to start submitting content and pricing for the campaign. So can you do this yourself? In short, yes, you can do this yourself. Just like you could go on a popular website building tool and build a website. But the answer really is you wouldn't actually do that. If you need your website to do some technical things, you'd go to a website. So we build these campaigns specifically for you. We know the audience that you want to reach, and we will go through all that with you and take all the hard work out of it. It can also be a very time-consuming process dealing with all the influencers. It takes quite a while to get all their content approved and through to you. And also, will you be using the right influencers? So I'd like to make a quick example of this. One of the first clients that we started talking to, they were already using influencer marketing, what they thought was influencer marketing themselves. So what they were doing, they were actually paying alumni to post on their social media platforms. When we actually dived into the audience analytics of these people that were posting out, they weren't posting to their target audience. And when we highlighted that, it just became apparent that they were doing the process completely wrong and they need their money into a different strategy, a strategy that would work. So selling into stakeholders, and I know everyone needs to report to someone, and it's hard work if that someone doesn't understand the concept of how influencer marketing can benefit your campaigns. So first of all, we'll always be upfront with you and tell you whether or not it's going to work for your campaign or not. Sometimes it's just not, you're just not able to use influencer marketing for every campaign. So we also got to know that it's a brand building exercise. We need to keep that in the mind of anyone that you're talking to about this. It's a great tool for maximizing your reach, and you're advertising to an already highly engaged pool of potential students. And again, it just sets yourself apart from any competition, as there's not very many people doing this right now. Anyone who's jumping on this is going to be ahead of the game by a long shot. And it also helps you build meaningful relationships. So if you've got brand ambassadors and influencers that have good reputations online, using them to promote your content and mention your brand, it's going to sear into the brain of these potential students that you are a quality organization that they want to study at. And when they are applying for university or going through clearing, as soon as they see your name on that page, they will automatically assume that they've seen that name elsewhere. They will look at you as a quality brand that they want to apply to. So just a quick case study. This was, again, one of the first things that we did. I put this in just to show you what it can do. The organisation that used this just wanted to test it, see if it was going to work for them. So they just put a little bit of budget in, and we posted content research over a 2-week period. And over that 2-week period, that research gathered a reach of 68,000 people with an engagement rate of 3.4% and a cost per engagement of 84 pence. So why should universities use influencer marketing? So just to recap, it will set you apart from your competition. It will help you reach much more students and students that are already highly engaged with content that's going out. You will access the highly engaged audience. It's cost effective, and you build meaningful relationships. Is there any questions? I'll dive into the chat. So, just having a look. Brilliant. Okay, so there's no any questions. If you have any questions and you'd like to get in touch with me, my email's at the bottom there, or you can give us a call and we can have a chat, see if influencer marketing is right for you. Thank you for joining the webinar.